welcome to Bonita's Kitchen, and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making here today is a delicious meal called bacon wrapped stuffed cod. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we're all about our Atlantic cod, and you can make so many delicious meals with cod, and I got lots of them for you to view here on Bonita's Kitchen. But today this meal is so delicious and not a lot of work. So what I'm going to do is have about 6 fillets of and boneless, skinless cod, Atlantic cod. You could use cod that's available in your place. And we're going to be using stale bread that we're going to grate into just crumbs. We're going to use bacon and some seasonings and onions. So let's get started on making the stuffing for this delicious meal. Okay, so we don't need a lot of stale bread, but if you got, like, I just got a bun of stale bread there, and it could be about 4 cups. So pretty much all you're doing, you can do this in your KitchenAid or you can do it by hand. If your bread is stale or 4 or 5 days old, you can just go like this and it'll break apart really easy. So I'm just going to continue breaking this apart, and then I'm going to reach for my onion and we'll start grating that. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp before you start cutting your onion, because I was told by one of our YouTubers that the reason why I cry every time is because my onion is giving off juice, and that's because the knife is not sharp. Now I always think I got my knife sharp, but probably that is the case. So just make sure your knife is sharp. And what we're going to do now is grate this onion into a bowl, and we're going to put it into our stuffing. So this is a small onion that I'm grating. If you don't like onion or you don't want to use fresh onion, you could use a powdered onion powder, not onion salt, because you're going to be adding salt in it. I don't want chunks. I'm going to keep this off to the side to use later. And the reason why I don't want chunks is because we're rolling this stuffing into our cod fillets, and I only want the juice and just some of the onion. It's pretty much like that. So the stuffing that we're making here today is the same stuffing that we would use here in Newfoundland and Labrador for stuffing our chicken or our turkey. And it's pretty much just a savory base. You could use summer savory. I bought it when we've been on vacation in the States at the grocery store. It's called summer savory. And here in Newfoundland and Labrador, they grow savory here as well, and it's a dried savory, so it's a herb. We're going to put a tablespoonful into with the stale bread. Then I'm going to be using a pinch of salt. I'm using sea salt. We're also going to be using a pinch of black pepper. Now you could use as much or as less as you want. A tablespoonful of butter, and then we're going to be using the grated onion. Now we're going to work this all together. So I love using butter in my stuffings, but you could use oil, and a tablespoonful as well, and you could use oil of choice, and the texture is nice. And when you grate your onion as well, you'll get a nice moist texture to your stuffing, and it helps it to bind in well when you're working with it in your chicken, or for us here today with our cod. So this is done. I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to bring in my cod, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to reach for my cod. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now this cod, actually, it was like this. So it, like lots, there were big fish, these were, and they were given to me by my friend Trixie, and it was caught in Green's Pond, and that's in here in Newfoundland, and she claims that it's the best fish around, but I'm gonna say all cod is equally delicious. But you know, this is absolutely delicious and nice to work with. So what I'm doing here now is patting it dry, because we don't need that moisture on it. And now I'm going to show you how to roll it. Okay, so as you can see, these are delicious pieces of cod. I'm going to lightly season these here now, even though we got pepper and salt in with the cod, with the stuffing. I want to season the cod as well and make sure that it's equal amounts on each side, like this. And that's just with a little bit of sea salt and some black pepper. And make sure as well that you got boneless and skinless cod fillets, and touch around to make sure there's no bones still there. What you're going to do now is put some stuffing on your fillet like this, your cod fillet, and then you're going to roll it like this. And we're going to roll it till you bring up this little piece there. We're going to take a piece of bacon and we're going to put it around it and roll it. And then what you're going to do, the stuffing that fell out, because you got to lift it, you're going to tuck it back into the cod because you want it inside your roll. And it's going to look something like this. And like I was saying, don't be alarmed if it falls out when you roll it, because you could tuck it back in again. So you're pretty much going to do that with all of it. You're going to start to roll, keeping the stuffing in there. Then you're going to take a piece of bacon, put down and roll it over it like this. And you can see what it looks like here on the inside. And of course with the bacon wrapped around it. Then I'm going to take it and put it into my pan. Now you can put this on a baking sheet and have it laced with parchment paper, or you could put it into your deep frying pan. Of course, me with my cast iron frying pan, everything I love baking or cooking in it. So I'm going to continue on making these and I'll show you what they look like. So I'm pretty much here just stuffing the rest of these, and I got 6 that I'm going to be stuffing. And like you said, you could do as many as you like. If you got a family of 6 or 8 and you want 1 or 2, these one roll is more than enough for one person, because you're going to be serving it with vegetables and rice and whatever side dish you would like. But pretty much it's easy like this, just to roll it on either side. You'll see you can poke the stuffing back into it and then take your bacon and roll it around. And we're also going to be making a drawing butter with this. It's like a gravy, only it's white, and that'll go over it when it comes out of the oven, and I'll explain all that to you as we go. So I'm just going to continue stuffing these and I'll show you what's next. Okay, so last but not least, so what I'm going to do then is finish this one, and then I'm going to wash my hands, seasoning that, and I'll tell you how long you would keep it in the oven for. Okay, I'm just going to lightly season the top now of the bacon part. Now, we're going to be putting this in the oven on a 350 to a 375 degree heat, depending on your oven. And we're going to be leaving it in there for about a half an hour to 40 minutes. The bacon is going to start to crisp, get a nice golden brown, and the cod is going to be cooked deliciously through. So what I'm going to do now is pop mine in the oven, and then we're going to get started making our drawing butter. Okay, so while we're waiting for our cod, or our bacon wrapped stuffed cod, to bake, we're going to make a drawing butter. And this drawing butter is really a gravy, but is no gravy browning. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we'd like to use a browning to color our gravy. And this one is a drawing butter. It's going to go over our cod when it comes out, and a little bit over the vegetables I'm going to serve with it. So the onions that I had left over, remember I grated them and said I'll use it later. Now I'm going to use it. I'm going to fry it in the frying pan with a tablespoonful of butter. So let's get started. So just put your tablespoonful of butter into the pan and let it melt around. And then what we're going to do is put our onions in there. I got it diced a little bit, and let that start to fry there with it. Feel the love. I'm going to sprinkle about half a teaspoonful of black or white pepper into our skillet and let that fry in with that and get it all nice and flavorful. I'm going to be using a pinch of sea salt, and while this is frying there, when it gets just a little bit tenderized, the onions cook down just a little, I'm going to be adding in about 2 tablespoonfuls of flour or cornstarch. I'm going to sprinkle the flour on in. Let this cook around just for a small amount of time. You see it starting to cook in there. And then I'm going to pour in a cup of vegetable broth or stock. And I'm going to mix this around. And after you pour in your vegetable stock, just stir it around, making sure there's no lumps. And lumps meaning the flour going off to one side and wanting to stay there. Just mix it around like this. Then when it starts to thicken a little, you're going to turn down the heat and just keep it on warm until your fish, your bacon wrapped stuffed cod is baked and out of the oven. Hi, and welcome back to Bonita's Kitchen. Our bacon wrapped stuffed cod is baked. Now I'm going to reach for it and take it out of the oven and show you what it looks like. Okay, my gosh, this is too good to eat. It's so delicious and it smells amazing. I'm going to take up some now and show you what it looks like. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take up a nice helping. For my plate, of course, just look at the inside. You can see the stuffing and the bacon, how nice it looks there. So I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to put these out on this plate so you can see it there as well. Now, could you see yourself having one, maybe two? It's difficult to only have one piece of these because it's just so delicious. Anything stuffing, anything cod is delicious. I'm going to put this there for you to see. Now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so that delicious drawing butter that we made, you're going to drizzle that right on over with the onions and all. But if your guests don't like onions, you don't have to put it in there. You can remove it. So that's what that's going to look like. Okay, I need to pour myself up a cup of tea with this because anyone know if you're going to have fresh cod from the Atlantic Ocean and it's stuffed with bacon, wrapped in bacon and stuffed, you need to have a cup of tea after. Plus I got some fresh bread there, and you can also get that on Bonita's Kitchen. Now I'm going to cut a piece and I'm going to have a taste. Tell you what it tastes like. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. I got some of the stuffing, some of the drawing butter, and of course lots of the cod. Drop the fork. Delicious. Okay, I'm going to have a little taste of tea first. And that is deliciously steeped as well. Okay guys, I can't tell you any more than just absolutely delicious. Wrapped in bacon, I mean that's enough there. Bacon anything. I want to dip my fresh bread into that drawing butter. Raymond is looking at this there saying, hurry up, cook this, like have this done so we can have some. I can't urge you enough to make it delicious and get fresh cod, frozen cod, it doesn't matter, it will still taste delicious. I'm just serving mine today with some fresh vegetables, carrot, turnip, some broccoli and steamed rice. But you could use whatever you want to serve with yours, just as long as you got this recipe for bacon wrapped stuffed cod. That's all you would need. The recipe is going to be at the bottom of this video, and as well the subscribe button. So if you haven't subscribed and you're a first time viewer for Bonita's Kitchen, please, I'd urge you to hit the subscribe button and you're going to see lots of delicious recipes made here by me. You can also visit us on our webpage, www.bonitaskitchen.com, our Facebook page, and leave us a message on either one of those. We would love to hear from you. So thank you for joining us here today on Bonita's Kitchen, from our kitchen to yours. Have a wonderful day.